Pravda the Pines pilot refers to you. Hey, it's beautiful weather out there. Put on your coat, all you poor Democrats who probably will freeze to death in 60-degree weather. Saunter on down to the end of your driveway and pick up the Pravda trash and throw it where it belongs. Actually, today's good use for the Pravda would be as a cat litter liner, cat litter box liner, or maybe your birdcage liner. That's what I use it for. So you have a good day. Go down there and pick it up before it ends up in the watershed.
I hate it when, man, this is just not my day. Started at midnight. It did. First of all, don't forget, of course, I'll tell you about it in a second. Don't forget, we're being seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available to you at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located. On your mobile device, fire up YouTube and put Mornings with the Leader Man into the search. If you're on your mobile device needing just our audio stream, that's available at talk973.com. I'm sorry, with your streaming platform, such as an app. Such as TuneIn, iTunes, Streama. Just put WEEB into that search. And you can also get it off of our website. Upper right-hand corner of every web page has an icon that says Listen Live. Just click that once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area. Sunny today, 74 high. Tonight, clear and 42. Tomorrow, pretty much a carbon copy of today. Friday, still going to be partly cloudy, 71. And Friday night, the computer models are coming together and saying, we'll make it wet Friday night. Friday night right now it says isolated showers. We'll see a low of 51. Saturday, a better chance of showers, 68 for a high, but not a washout. These are 20-30% chances. So put that into your plans so that you at least carry an umbrella. Sunday, same thing, 30% chance of getting wet, 71. Monday, 30% and 72. And Tuesday, 20% rain and 72 for a high. So right now, around the Sand Hills, winds are northwest at 3, visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure 3006, dew point 45, humidity 89, and it's clear 48 currently here at Talk 97.3 FM. 104.1 FM and 990 AM WEEB. Yeah, it started midnight last night. Yesterday, well, what was it? Last week I got a call from Spectrum. We use their internet. And actually it was Time Warner's internet when we bought it.
Yes.
In fact, they now call themselves Spectrum. And the guy calls me up, and we pay what's called business class, which means they charge us an exorbitant fee. I mean, we're talking $350 roughly just to use the internet.
That is exorbitant.
It is exorbitant, but with business class comes business service. So if something goes down, they're required to be here that day. There's no next Tuesday crap. But it seems when something goes down and I call them, some girl in the Philippines goes, we can tell you next Wednesday.
You sure she was in the Philippines? She's probably calling from next door.
Anyway, I said, no, man, I don't pay these exorbitant rates for this. I said, obviously, you're too stupid, so give me somebody with a brain. Bump me up to a supervisor, and he'll say the same thing, and I'll say, no. That isn't what my contract says. So either you get somebody out here today, or you bring me a big refund check.
Yeah.
Because I'm not paying these rates to be treated like your $19.95 a month customer.
It's not like you have any choice either,
Yeah.
Since the government has seen fit to monopolize all that.
I was red hot mad one time, and I got some big boss on the line finally, and he says, well, they say they've been trying to call you. I said, well, I can't answer because I'm talking to you.
You don't have two business lines?
Well, I had him on my cell phone.
Oh, okay.
Sitting there at the Harris Teeter parking lot, just red hot mad. Anyway, he says, well, that's him calling right now. I knew it. I said, well, then I'll merge the calls. Then I got to read on my screen with a little itty bitty print and say, which one do I push for the merge?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, which I merge calls once a year, so I'm not real proficient with it.
Yeah, that's true. If you don't use it all the time, it's.
So anyway, they called last week and said, hey, we're such nice guys, meaning Spectrum. We want to give you, always be cautious when they say they want to give you something. They said, we want to give you, because we were getting 40 megs. That's what we bought for our $350, which is nothing by today's standards.
Right.
But it did what we needed here. And he says, we can give you 400 megs at a reduced price, no contract, and throw in TV.
Oh, there you go.
I said, well, you have got my interest now. Obviously, there's something I'm missing.
But you'll find out.
I said, so why don't you go ahead and tell me what it is I'm missing? And he says, no, we're just this way we get you transferred over from Time Warner to Spectrum's format.
Right.
And things work better for us. And I said, all right, I'll give you a try. And they came in yesterday, installed it all. And then last night at midnight, I had no internet at all.
That's the catch. It only lasts for 6 hours.
And with business class, if you have a problem, you have to call by 7 p.m. to get that day service.
Right.
So a little late on that one. So I heard a humming going on. I looked around amongst the gazillion wires here and found a UPS, that's an uninterrupted power supply, that was humming and not putting out electricity.
Oh, okay.
So I said, oh, there's the problem. Now, everything plugged into that has to find a new source of power.
Right.
Till I get a UPS today. So I've rewired everything to accommodate it for till later today. And it all came on. I said, phew. I went back to bed. And then I come in this morning, good old buddies at NCNN having their issues. They're the ones that supply the North Carolina News Network stuff and the local sports. And they come in and they're not there. They're not there. So I can't be on the air and call them at the same time and say, where the frig are you?
Well, I showed up, so something worked right.
Huh?
I said I showed up, so something worked right.
That's right. So this hour you get an extra time, and next hour you'll get extra time.
Mm-hmm. Well, in and amongst all of that, hey, get out and vote. You can still get out and vote today. And
the only people that don't vote are people who live in the county.
Right.
Like me.
Yep. So, especially you Whispering Pines, you get a couple of good choices out there in Whispering Pines. And one very bad choice, our former sheriff, and he is former for a good reason. It's because he's disgraced and discredited and and
thought he was above the law, which he turned out to be.
Yeah, he
got his son out of multiple serious charges.
Personifies the dual legal system that we have in this country.
And he committed crimes to get him out. That's the point, that he got away with it. And nobody wanted to take him down. The fix was in at the state level. Yeah. I know because I broke the story. I was following it. I was talking to the prosecutor in Raleigh numerous times a month about it and see what progress had been made and giving him more direction as to where the problem was. And what did he do? He called somebody up the chain and got me. So so that's what we did. Anyway,
well, get out and vote.
He's not elected for that reason. So don't put him back in a position of power. Because what's on his mind is, next he'll go for the county commissioners.
Hey,
we will be screwed.
if I can take this opportunity, it says new issue, I'd just like to personally thank you because it appears that somebody at the county level finally has taken your advice, taken your campaign issue, and we're going to make some money on that old jail.
Yeah.
And, that was something that you brought up, and, you were poo-pooed by the county commissioners.
I was poo-pooed by the sheriff that's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, no, can't do that. I don't get it. Blah, 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 blah. But now they're going to do it.
Yeah. He said it couldn't be done.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know there's a whole lot of hits on my website where the plan is.
Right.
That they must be following it. They are following it to the T. They're going to get a few bucks for renting out some cells, not like they could have.
There's money to be made there, and hopefully they can get past their stupidity. And I say that again, their stupidity, as my grandfather from Scotland would say, you stupid bastard. Well, at any rate, hey, maybe they'll do some more and pick up a couple more points that you had in your campaign, and do something for this county, because we're going to have it, because Beggar Bob and the school board are going to drive us into bankruptcy. They're killing us on money. Yeah. So we're going to have to make up some money here somewhere.
Well, they said in a previous news release they think they could make $1.5 million a year. I don't know. Off of their plan. I told the commissioners, I went up there several years ago when they were talking about demolishing it and putting the new courthouse there.
Right.
Saying please don't, because that represents $6 million a year in profit to the county.
Potential is $6 million if everything were to fall in place. Right. So any little bit they can make of it is going to help, because Beggar Bob is begging us into the courthouse.
Yeah. Someday we may wake up wise up to him. We already have.
Yeah. Well, some people have, and more and more. I don't talk to a lot of people, but more and more people are hearing it and understanding he's a loser.
Yeah. That's one of his. What am I trying to say? Main traits.
Yeah, losing.
Has his little temper tantrums.
Yeah.
And kicks things around the office, slams doors, things like that. He's a real grown-up supervisor. Yeah. All right. Anything else on your mind this morning, Colonel?
Good coffee. And actually, I was sitting here thinking about about an apple fritter.
I had one yesterday from Southern Angels Donuts, and it was good.
Yeah,
I got two of them.
Yeah.
Gave one away. I mean, that thing weighs a ton.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so while you were sleeping, the Angels were baking fresh, heavily donuts. Southern Angel Donuts, Homestead Village Shopping Center. They're up in 6A to 6P. If you don't know where they are, when you drive in straight into Olmsted off of 211, it's in the far left-hand corner.
Yes.
That's where they're located.
Across from the bank.
Yeah. So you go in there, and they got a big array of stuff to choose from.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And that apple fritter, it lasts a long time. Long time. Let's see what else we got. Well, let's go to a few sound bites this morning. See if we can get your funny bone going before you hit that work this morning. Johnson & Johnson recently recalled thousands of bottles of baby powder after asbestos was found.
Asbestos?
Yes.
In the baby powder?
Yeah, in the floating in the air form. That's the bad kind.
Yeah, no kidding.
You walk on asbestos every day. If you walk on vinyl,
right.
If you walk on tile, the thin tile, right, that's glued down, which are all in commercial buildings, you're walking on asbestos. So it's not like it's not around us, but it's not airborne. Anyway, we call their helpline for information, and if you listen close, It sounds like the guy is trying to sneak in the truth. So let's get it called this morning. Here we go.
Welcome to the Johnson & Johnson Consumer Care Center. Please hold while I connect your call.
It forms a white bubble during the healing process. The bandage helps prevent the formation of scabs that can prolong healing and cause scarring.
Hello, thank you for calling the Johnson & Johnson Baby Powder Helpline.
Hello, yes, I'd like to find out more about the recalled baby powder.
I'll tell you everything that's going on as best as I know. How can I help you?
Am I at risk from using your baby powder?
Well, not as best as we can tell you're not.
Okay, well, if something happens, are you going to compensate me for my doctor bills?
Ma'am, we are going to do everything as best as we can to take care of you.
Okay, thanks. You were no help.
Well, sorry. I wish you as best a day as possible, and thank you for calling Johnson & Johnson.
And that's how that went.
J&J.
People have gotten so sensitive, you know. I'm still looking for that clause in the Constitution that says you have the right not to be offended.
Yeah, I've searched for that.
It's got to be in there somewhere. We just can't find it yet.
I think maybe it was in that onion ink on the back side of it or something.
Yeah, must be where it's at.
Yeah.
But people have gotten so sensitive about everything, even pumpkin carving, which can be so, quote, cruel.
Carving pumpkins, all right.
But a Caring Vines orchid, at Caring Vines Orchard, every pumpkin is nurtured as an individual.
When you carve a pumpkin, does it feel pain? How do we really know? Hi. At Caring Vines Orchard, we nurture every pumpkin as individuals, unique in their own way. We interview prospective adopters to make sure our little orange babies are going to a good home.
We have a renovated tutor with a screened-in porch where they'll be on display, but protected from the elements.
Sounds lovely.
Thanks.
No knives will ever touch their tender shells. The precious pumpkins from our orchard are decorative, unlike others. Maimed victims exploited for a holiday created to scare and frighten.
I want a jack-o'-lantern.
We don't say that here. Sounds like jerk, and that's pejorative.
You're a jerk-o'-lantern.
Well, your costume is common and pedestrian.
What?
A princess. Really original. Hush. Welcome a Caring Vines Orchard pumpkin into your home. Our pumpkins come with a promise. We don't carve, we covet. Pleasant Halloween.
Oh, dear.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's something you might enjoy. And don't be trying it on me. It's National Slap Your Annoying Coworker Day. It sounds like a great way to get fired and sued at the same time. In fact, here's a scene from one of those days.
To do these documents, it's going to take me months.
And you better get started.
Wow, I just got a big headache.
You should bring Matt in for a guest appearance.
Yeah, that brings back some other memories.
What do you mean when you said I was annoying? Does that mean I ask a lot of questions? Is that what it means? Annoying? Does that mean to ask too many questions?
Yeah. And from American Dad.
Remember I told you being stupid was going to start getting painful?
Yep.
Yeah, all these things you can use today. A 24-year-old woman was being arrested for disorderly conduct outside a Waffle House after an Alabama football game.
Oh, dear.
While being caught, she began grinding against him. Here's the moment it happened when she backed off. Roll Tide.
Oh, yeah? You like that? You like that? Yeah?
Lord.
Yeah. And a woman. This will bring back memories from marriage. A woman berates a husband for riding a bike down the street while dressed as Michael Myers from Halloween. She's in the car with her son when she sees him on the bike and orders him to get home before she has him committed.
Oh, my God.
Also, she's one of the ones that tape every moment of her life because it's so interesting.
What the hell are you doing? Oh my God, are we these people now? Riding around with a skeleton baby in my bike cart? Oh my God. Seriously, get home or I'm gonna have you committed. Oh my God. I leave to pick you up from a football game and your dad does this crap. What the?
Now you see, this is the you can't have fun syndrome.
Right.
Well, the woman, if she knows you're out having fun, she will make sure she comes by and takes it away.
Yeah. or your Corvette.
Well, I had a first wife that, yes, I've had multiples. Where I was working at a small station in Raleigh. You got to start somewhere. And this was a small country station. This is back when music was on AM, not FM. Back in the 70s. And that was kind of like my round to golf. I went on Saturdays, did my thing, and went home. And, I got my radio out of my system for the week. And every single time after we were married, she'd call up and during the middle of the show. She says, like, you are not allowed to have fun. I'm going to take that fun away from you and bitch in your ear. And I'd hang up that phone and I'd be slamming that receiver down and going, shut up, bitch.
The Congress, some congresswoman is
having an affair with the 22-year-old?
No, that was aside. There's some congresswoman brought up some bill to federally fine anybody who uses bitch. $200. So you're up.
I won't last a week.
You're up 600 right now.
Before I'm declaring bankruptcy. I'm glad it's not one of the words you can't use on radio.
Yeah. Well, those are coming. Well, I mean, we're already into the point where, they're passing laws and making it so that, not only do you have to tolerate all this mental illness that's out there, now they're getting to the point where they are going to make you participate in it. And that's it. And that's where it's all going. Somebody's going to come in here at some point in the future and say, you're not dressed as a transgender today, or you haven't participated in this activity today, which is mental illness and sickness and other things. But that's where this is all going. I mean, I sent you the thing here yesterday about the Canadian court case. Some transgender guy wanted to go get a bikini wax or whatever they call it. And he was going to some woman. He went to a number of women who do that. They all refused. They said, well, I'm not giving a guy a bikini wax. And he sued them. Well, you have to. I'm a transgender. I feel like a woman. So you're going to treat me as a woman and you're going to, wax me as appropriate. And the Canadian court here in the last couple of days finally, came out and said, you know what? That's baloney. We're not going to make some woman handle a man, during this bikini wax procedure. So, boom. And not only did they fine for, the women, but they, the court made this guy pay
or legal fee.
Several of these women multiple dollars, because a couple of the women had to go out of business while they were defending themselves, etc. So, yeah, this transgender sick individual in Canada, finally lost the case. Somebody finally had a blinding flash of the obvious, and unfortunately it was in Canada, because I fear what will happen down here if that clown were to come down here, that he actually would have won that case, and women would be forced to handle this guy as a transgender, because I feel like a woman today, and he would have won down here in some court, I'm sure, at least at the lower levels. Despite all this Me Too movement and all this stuff, it just occurs to me that these sick liberal, progressive, communist, socialist judges, or some of these people that we have, would force that on women down here. I'm waiting for it. I'm sure it'll happen.
Give it time. It will. Let's see. McCamey Manor. Or McNamara Manor. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it says...
McNamara?
McCamey.
I don't know.
McCamey. I think it's McCamey.
Never heard of it.
It's said to be the scariest haunted house in America. It's so intense that you have to sign a 40-page waiver, pass a sports physical and drug test, prove you're 21 years old, provide medical insurance, and watch a 2-hour video of previous visitors quitting before the end. You get $20,000 prize for finishing. But no one has ever finished.
That sounds phony to me.
McCamey Manor is actually a survival horror boot camp experience.
Get him up.
Have I told you numerous times that you don't want to take this tour?
I'm done with the laughing.
Right? Do you understand that?
Why are you crying? Why are you crying? It's all over for you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Marine, you think you can make it through there?
Let me watch the film, and I'll tell you.
I have the link for it.
Well, send it to me. I'll take a look.
Yeah, it's one of those long addresses. But all right, I'll send it to you.
Does coffee count as a drug? Can I take my coffee with me when I walk there?
Let's see. A team of researchers created a new foam made of elastic, artificial skin you can tickle. It even does things like zoom in on the screen if you pinch it. But some people think it looks like something out of a nightmare. Our question is, what does it sound like when you peel the cover off your phone? Let's see.
Afternoon temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 60s and lower 70s to the south. We will have plenty of sunshine around and a northwest breeze in place, allowing us to stay on the cooler side for today. Temperatures tonight under mostly clear skies will fall into the lower 40s. Highs for tomorrow will be warmer in the upper 60s and lower 70s across our area. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sand Hills, 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Turkey's defense ministry says it's not going to resume its offensive against Kurdish Syrian fighters in northeast Syria following separate agreements reached with the U.S. and Russia. Meanwhile, U.S. Defense Secretary Esper is in Iraq for talks focusing on American troop deployments. Some Iraqi politicians object to U.S. troops being relocated from Syria to western Iraq. President Trump's use of the word lynching to describe the Democrats' secretive impeachment inquiry has raised an outcry from Democrats and even some Republicans. But it turns out that some Democrats use the very same word or the phrase lynch mob to describe President Clinton's impeachment 21 years ago. They're playing the blame game in the Senate, where there's plenty of finger-pointing going on over the failure to pass key legislation as the impeachment drama plays out.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says much important business depends on
coordination with our colleagues across the Capitol.
So despite Speaker Pelosi's claim the ongoing impeachment focus won't hold up key legislation,
actions speak louder than words.
But Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says McConnell's known for not letting some bills see the light of day.
Most everybody knows that he's proud that he's the Grim Reaper.
A nickname McConnell cheerfully gave himself after critics accused him of turning the Senate into a legislative graveyard. Bob Agnew, Capitol Hill.
A tragic end to the search for a missing child in Birmingham, Alabama.
The Birmingham Police Department, along with the FBI, have located the remains of a 3-year-old child who we believe to be Camille Cupcake McKinney.
Police Chief Patrick Smith says the remains of the girl were found at a landfill. 2 suspects, a man and his girlfriend, have been charged with murder. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures are lower. Right now, Dow futures down about 40 points. S&P futures off 11. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Sebastian Gorka here for Relief Factor, the 100% drug-free supplement that was formulated by doctors to help your body deal with inflammation and pain. The reason I've told so many of my friends about the 3-week quick start is because as we get older, occasional aches and pains can be a real problem, keeping you from sleeping through the night or doing the things you love and need to do, like taking walks or playing golf, going up or down stairs, or simply playing with your kids or grandkids. Tens of thousands are now like me, glad they ordered the 3-week quick start for just $19.95. After years of back pain, I found relief, and I believe you could too. Folks, this is why the father and son owners of Relief Factor, Pete and Seth Talbot, created the 3-week quick start, and they discounted it to only $19.95. Approximately 70% of those who order it go on to order more. Let's see if we can get you out of pain too. Go to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com, or call 800-500-8384.
Lebanese troops have moved in to clear out protesters from several major roads in Beirut and other cities.
The Lebanese protests are entering their 7th day. They've brought much of the country to a standstill. Until now, they've been characterized by fun and good humor, though the seriousness of the country's plight that's brought hundreds of thousands onto the streets has been the focus. Now the army is moving in to try to reopen roads blocked by the protesters. The Prime Minister, Saad Hariri, has told the army not to use force, but scuffles have already broken out in several areas as protesters refuse to move as the army comes in. Many Lebanese are holding their breath that the situation remains peaceful and their demands for genuine reform do not get hijacked by any violence.
The BBC's Sebastian Usher. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson appears to be pushing for an early general election after Parliament blocked a fast-track plan to approve his Brexit deal before Britain's departure from the EU on October 31st. News and analysis, townhall.com. Headed to the airport. Leave your gun at home.
The Transportation Safety Administration says so far this year they've caught 26 guns at Baltimore-Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport. That number ties the record set in 2017, and officials say it's highly likely a new record will be set before the year ends. The 26th gun was spotted Saturday when an Annapolis, Maryland man said he forgot his handgun loaded with 15 bullets was in his carry-on bag. He was arrested on weapons charges. The TSA says in 2018, 4,239 firearms were discovered in carry-on bags across the country. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
Tough times for Caterpillar, a slowing global economy taking a toll on the heavy equipment maker, which is cutting its outlook for the year after profits and revenue slid in the third quarter. Caterpillar's shares sliding down more than 4% ahead of this morning's opening bell on Wall Street. More on these stories at townhall.com.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Pride Plumbing is proud to serve Moore County with superior workmanship and dependable plumbing service, including 24/7 emergency service. Like the name says, we take pride in our work and your safety. Our employees must pass background and drug tests and share Pride Plumbing's reputation for quality service. From simple leaky faucets to new water heaters and sewer lines, backflow testing and installation, drain cleaning, plumbing repairs, and, if necessary, replacement and remodeling. A family business with over 50 years of prideful service. Go online to callprideplumbing.com and check out our 5-star customer reviews. We offer a 10% discount to all veterans and active military. Call Pride Plumbing of Moore County at 910-295-0152. 910-295-0152. Serving with pride since 1965.
October is a great time to purchase a new Honda from Leith Honda Aberdeen. Right now, get easy pricing on all new 2019 models. With a huge selection of vehicles, great prices, and no games or gimmicks, Leith Honda Aberdeen makes it easy for you. Our service department makes it quick and easy for you as well. We mean it when we say we're easy to get to and easy to deal with. Check us out at LeithHondaAberdeen.com. Leith Honda Aberdeen, the name you can trust.
Great news. During the Jeep Adventure Days at Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen, all new 2019 vehicles are available with easy pricing. Just ask at Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Aberdeen. We make it easy for you. not only with buying a new vehicle, but when you have to service your vehicle as well. We have quick and easy oil, brake, and tire services available just for you. Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen. Easy to get to and easy to deal with. Have a great day today.
Serving more people, more places, 24/7. If your AC breaks down, we'll restore your indoor heaven. Installation or repair, one call will be there. It's your family, don't delay. Comfort's just a call away. We're Comfort Services. Comfort Services.
Come to Comfort Services in Aberdeen and get a free estimate on a new Carrier system or heat pump, and you may qualify for a rebate up to $1,900 from Carrier. Get in on the savings and purchase a qualifying heating or cooling product before the Cool Cash rebate ends November 15th. You may also qualify for financing options as well. Stop into Comfort Services on Highway 5 next to the Habitat store in Aberdeen, or call 910-695-2665. Carrier and Comfort Services, a great team. Call 910-695-2665.
Comfort's just a call away. Comfort Services.
What keeps your house toasty warm, cooks your food and heats your water, and gives you a great excuse to hang out in front of your fireplace? Propane gas, brought to you by McNeil Oil and Propane of Aberdeen. McNeil Oil and Propane can handle all of your propane or heating oil needs. Call them at 944-2329 and have them come out to fill your own tank, or they can provide you with a new one. When you need propane or heating oil, call McNeil Oil and Propane today at 944-2329. That's 944-2329.
Are you a do-it-yourselfer, home builder, or remodeler? If so, bring in the best deal you're getting in Moore County for your flooring, and Hardwood Liquidators will match it and beat it. Right now, we have over 130,000 square feet in our warehouse stacked with solid engineered, laminate, and waterproof luxury vinyl plank. Like the farmhouse look, our farmhouse bandsawn French oak solid flooring starts at $449 a square foot. Financing is available with approved credit. We're at 707 South Pinehurst off Highway 1, right across the street from McNeil Oil. Or call us at 910-757-0478. Hardwood Liquidators. More floor, less money. Born in Napoli, Italy, Sal Doria, owner of Fratello's restaurant in Pinehurst, makes his hand-tossed pizza with the passion of a true Italian. Fresh ingredients, homemade mozzarella, and amore. Come in and experience the ambiance of European luxury, hearty cuisine, warm hospitality, and an outstanding wine and beer list. Military families, come in and 15% of your meal is on us. Every Friday and Saturday night from 6:30 to 9:30, Fratello's welcomes Carolina's favorite piano man, Clarence Levine. Feel like staying in tonight? Fratello's has got you covered with Grubhub and DoorDash, so you can simply call in your order and have it delivered to your doorstep. We're located at 9735 U.S. Highway 15501 in Pinehurst, just a few doors down from Hickory Tavern. Fratello's Restaurant, making you fall in love with food all over again. At Weichert Realtors Town & Country, we understand that when a seller or home buyer walks into a large real estate agency, they run the risk of getting an inexperienced realtor. That's why all our brokers are senior-level real estate experts that meet the highest standards of market knowledge and integrity. Our team members, led by owner-broker Debbie Serino, average 23 years experience and will provide you with impeccable industry knowledge, close guidance, and valuable market information. Weichert Realtors Town & Country wants to welcome Tim Warman, who works exclusively with sellers and brings with him proven systems to help you get your home sold for the most amount of money and, more importantly, the shortest amount of time. Come into Weichert Realtors today at the corner of Rattlesnake and McCaskill Road in Pinehurst, or call us at 910-235-3685. That's 910-235-3685. Weichert Realtors Town & Country, ready to work for you. Each office is independently owned and operated.
MCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. A state highway patrol trooper was hit by a car last night during a traffic stop in Vance County. The trooper was airlifted to Duke University Hospital, where he was listed in serious condition. Highway Patrol Sergeant Chris Knox tells CBS 17.
We all know the inherent dangers in what we do, but we would hope that people would adhere to the law and move over as well.
The top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, Bill Taylor, gave testimony Tuesday on Capitol Hill about President Trump's dealings with Ukraine. Politico reporter Daniel Lippman tells us more about Taylor and how he came to be the top American diplomat in Ukraine.
Bill Taylor is a veteran U.S. diplomat who replaced the ambassador who Trump sacked, the ambassador to Ukraine, and so he came out of retirement to take this job and was not expecting to have to deal with these types of issues.
Alabama police are obtaining murder warrants for 2 suspects after investigators found the body of a 3-year-old in a trash bin taken to a landfill. Camille Cupcake McKinney had been missing for more than a week. Birmingham Police Chief Patrick Smith.
Her remains were found inside of a dumpster. They were recovered inside of a landfill here in Birmingham.
As Hurricane Dorian approached North Carolina on September 5th, a tornado ripped through portions of Emerald Isle. One area impacted was the Boardwalk RV Park. Town manager Matt Zapp tells WCTI News.
We're very close to the $250,000 mark, and we're hopeful that all of our documentation paperwork is on point with FEMA, and we do anticipate a near 100% recovery on those costs. 2 more North Carolina State Fair workers were arrested during the fair's first week. David William Parker of Pennsylvania was arrested and charged with simple possession and second-degree trespassing. DeMonte Jeter was arrested and charged with felony possession of cocaine. You're listening to NCN News.
Medicaid expansion, school safety, a statewide bond package, the next state budget. North Carolina lawmakers are tackling these and other topics. You can follow all the action with Carolina Journal. How would these proposals affect you, your wallet, your family? Carolina Journal offers answers. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your best source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
Protect our kids, protect our communities, protect our environment. Unused medication poses a deadly risk to our loved ones, and flushing it could impact our waters. That's why there's Operation Medicine Drop, a safe and secure drop box located at spots around the state. Drop your unused or expired medication in them, and law enforcement will get rid of it safely. To find a drop box near you, visit the Department of Insurance website at www.ncdoi.com. Keep medicine out of the wrong hands. Operation Medicine Drop.
A judge has quickly dismissed an effort by Republican leaders at the North Carolina legislature to move a lawsuit challenging the congressional map they drew in 2016 from state court to federal court. U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper arrived in Baghdad early today amid questions about how long American troops will stay in Iraq after withdrawing from Syria. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick is traveling with Esper.
This is Esper's first trip to Iraq as Defense Secretary, and it comes at a delicate time in U.S.-Iraqi relations. At the center of these talks will be the American troops withdrawing from northeast Syria to western Iraq. The U.S. hopes they can remain there to conduct counter-ISIS missions across the border into Syria. But for Iraqi politicians, that will be a hard sell to their own people, many of whom want U.S. forces to leave.
UNCW's Department of University Relations is releasing a documentary, Keepers of the Bees, which chronicles the work of students trying to help future generations. The students in the university's Beekeepers Club are helping save the declining bee population. Jesse Bradley is director of media productions at UNCW and tells WECT News colony collapse and mites are killing bees.
There's a lot of factors, though, there, but that is kind of the keystone problem.
The Washington Nationals draw first blood against the Houston Astros in Game 1 of the World Series.
The Houston Astros got off to a great start, jumping off to a 2-0 lead in the first inning, and with their best pitcher, Garrett Cole, pitching, you thought the Astros were in great shape, but the Nationals scored once in the second, once in the fourth to tie the game, then 3 times in the decisive 5th inning. That gave the Nationals a 5-2 lead. The Astros were able to cut the margin to 5-4, but could not get the equalizer. So it's Washington winning Game 1 of the series. Steve Futterman, CBS News, at the World Series in Houston.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Abundant sunshine will persist for us today. Behind this cold front, we will see cooler temperatures and fall-like conditions persist. Highs will top in the mid to upper 60s, and areas to the south could see readings in the lower 70s this afternoon. By tonight, we'll fall into the lower 40s with highs tomorrow in the upper 60s and lower 70s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, we're looking at sunny skies and 50 degrees, humidity 80%, dew point 44, pressure 3009, winds are northwest at 5, visibility at 10 statute miles. It's 8:16. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Wednesday morning. Change in law for locking up juvenile offenders will come with additional cost to the county, but It could also end being a moneymaker. Starting December 1st, 16 and 17-year-olds who commit crimes in North Carolina will no longer automatically be charged in the adult criminal justice system. In 2017, state lawmakers raised the age for juvenile jurisdiction for nonviolent crimes to 18, meaning they cannot be housed with adults in county jails. To comply with the mandate, the Moore County Sheriff's Office wants to renovate the newest section of the old jail, which has 64 beds to house female inmates. That will free up space in the new detention center, which opened in early 2014, to house male juveniles. That would provide enough beds for the county to house some juveniles from surrounding counties, generating additional revenue for the county, according to information from the Sheriff's Office. And no area in Moore County has seen more development than Aberdeen. The town's population has doubled since 2000, when it just had under 3,600 residents. And more are coming. According to a census projection, Moore County population is expected to increase to 120,000 by 2035, and much of the growth will occur in Aberdeen, Pine Bluff, and Southern Pines. In January, town leaders adopted the updated 2040 Comprehensive Land Development Plan. This document serves as an underlying blueprint and primary policy guide for short and long-term planning, and once finished, cleared the way for the next critical step, rewriting the town's UDO, which is also known as the Unified Development Ordinance. The Aberdeen Planning Board began active updating of the UDO chapter by chapter this past spring, working closely with town staff and to develop a simplified, more user-friendly format. The Board of Commissioners will review the UDO updates this coming Tuesday at 6 p.m. I take that back. It'll be Tuesday, November 12th at 6 p.m. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but stand by. We got lots more to come, including a candidate for the North Carolina House. That's straight ahead. At John Law Power Sports and Automotive, retired police chief and owner Brian Beck wants to be your go-to for everything from tires, a clutch adjustment, to a rebuild with a whole lot of torque, and even detailing. Weekend bikers and professionals alike turn to John Law Power Sports and Automotive. Got a golf cart that needs fine-tuning? We fix that too. Military, retirees, law enforcement, and first responders receive discounted rates through John Law Power Sports and Automotive, which is why they're the trusted mechanics of Moore County's law enforcement community. Come in today for a free estimate. 212 Stanley Street in West End, or call 910-466-9169. John Law Power Sports and Automotive, sharing the pride in your ride.
This is Chuck from Sunbelt Service Pros. Are you just not feeling it anymore with your AC service provider? Are you calling those guys because that's what you've always done, or because there's a sticker on the thermostat with an old phone number on it? How about this? Take a chance and you'll be thrilled to find that you're getting real value for your heating and cooling dollars. When you call Sunbelt Service Pros, you are dealing with a professional and reliable service provider. Our technicians are highly trained and certified and can quickly address any issues. Our customers find our technicians and office staff courteous, friendly, and professional throughout the whole process. We're doing something right here. You need to check us out, find out what you've been missing, and call us today. Sunbelt Service Pros at 910-944-2044, or go online to sunbeltservicepros.com.
Jump into the fire at Brick's Wood Fire Pizza in the Cole Shopping Center and check out their new menu. In addition to the great selection of wood-fired pizzas, Brick's Wood Fire Pizza has wood-fired wings in 3 flavors, delicious soups, pastas, salads, and sandwiches, all made fresh daily. Your choice of craft beers on tap or favorite wine. Brick's Wood Fire Pizza is a community partner supporting our schools in the arts and sports and other nonprofits. Jump into the fire at Brick's Wood Fire Pizza, Cole Shopping Center, Southern Pines. Open every day at 11 a.m.
You can jump into the fire.
Hey Sandhills, it's Anthony from Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop. We've been getting a lot of requests for information, and I'm proud to announce that we've launched our new website where you can find details about all the services we offer, how to get in touch with us, hours, and where we're located. Visit us at www.championnc.com. That's www.championnc.com. While you're there, take a look at the photo gallery of incredible cars that we're trusted to care for on a daily basis. That's Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop in downtown Southern Pines near the corner of Morganton and Broad.
Whether it's fleet maintenance, auto body and collision repair, or scheduled maintenance, Aberdeen Speed Shop can do all of your repairs. You have a choice. All we ask is you come in and meet us and see what we do. We invite you to browse our shop and see the different stages of premium restorations we do for Sandhills classic car owners. The care we put into those restorations and the corresponding trust those owners put in us is also reflected in our Speed Shop maintenance. Reputation is everything in this business, and it starts with getting comfortable with your car doctor. So stop by for an introduction or just to talk cars, or visit us on our Facebook page. Aberdeen Speed Shop, Highway 211 in Aberdeen. Google us or give us a call for directions, 365-9974. That's 365-9974. Once again, 365-9974. Aberdeen Speed Shop. Let's roll.
Well, there it is again. One of the big box pharmacy stores swallowing up yet another big box pharmacy. Now, you've heard me talk about supporting the mom and pops, but next time you're in one of those big chain stores and you see the endless lines of cash registers but wonder why there's only one register open, and you've been waiting a long time to save 3 cents on that one item but get gouged on another, then just think of all that money they're making for that shareholder in another state by cutting staff to the bone. At Health Innovation Pharmacy, all of our registers are staffed for your convenience. Health Innovation Pharmacy on Pinehurst Avenue in Southern Pines. Locally owned and serving Moore County since 2001.
Here's Jenny from Pinehurst, a patient at Sandhills Weekend Dental.
It may seem odd to look forward to going to a dentist, but as I told Dr. Terry Ann Sams, I always feel better when I leave their office than when I came in. Dr. Sams and the staff at Sandhills Weekend Dental just make you feel relaxed.
Sandhills Weekend Dental, Highway 211, just past Harris Teeter. Open Wednesday through Friday, 9 to 4, Saturday, 9 to 2. Call for an appointment at 910-867-4423, 687-4423.
What's for dinner? Upscale or casual? How about both? Char Bar 7 on Morganton Road is a nice mix of both upscale and casual. Perfect for a business lunch or dinner or a date that's unique but not budget busting. Char Bar 7 offers that just right option, featuring live music on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 10 p.m. on the best covered patio lounge in the Sandhills, bar none. Make Char Bar 7 your go-to oasis for great food, drink, and atmosphere on Morganton Road in Southern Pines.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. President Trump arrived on the scene here one day with a message for all of us. He said, "Let's make America great again." I loved that message the second I heard it. Make America great means a lot of things, all good and pure and honest to a lot of people. It means we want to be proud to stand up and tell folks, yep, I'm from the United States of America. And if other countries don't like us, that's too dang bad. They can quit taking our money and our protection. My example is when we rolled into Kuwait City after the Iraqis had occupied it and raped and burned and tortured and done their best to destroy that city. Kuwaiti citizens lined the streets crying and slobbering and yelling and thanking us, waving American flags. I've been back numerous times over the years, and about 10 years after we'd saved that nation, the younger Kuwaitis openly scorned Americans. They'd already been indoctrinated against us. An old man came up to me and my friend Joe one day at a market. He grabbed my hand as is custom and said, "The young people here hate you. Do you know that? They hate you because they do not remember." And then he said, "I'll never forget what you did." Well, we almost forgot what we've done until President Trump came along, and we are great. A nation of ordinary, common people made this nation great. People like us. And I love the fact that despite all the opposition, we have made America great again. I love this nation. Have a good day. from the Zoom Walk Zone.
Afternoon temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 60s and lower 70s to the south. We will have plenty of sunshine around and a northwest breeze in place, allowing us to stay on the cooler side for today. Temperatures tonight under mostly clear skies will fall into the lower 40s. Highs for tomorrow will be warmer in the upper 60s and lower 70s across our area. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
This program is brought to you by Way Back Wednesday. And by looking at all your Instagram posts of food, it's easy to see why you were so much skinnier in all those Way Back Wednesday pictures.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is?
It's Wake Up Wednesday.
Guess what today is?
Wednesday.
Wake up!
Wednesday.
Hey, I need you to wake up.
Thanks for waking me up this morning.
Need more snooze.
Just give me 15 minutes and wake me up.
Hey, no snoozing, man.
You snooze, you lose. Don't go back to sleep. Wake up. I'm awake.
It's showtime.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. At a time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Hey, good morning, Moore County. Good morning, unfortunate Aberdeen, as the Pravda of the Pines refers to you. Hey, it's Wednesday, so amble on down to the end of your driveway, pick up that trash, the Pravda. If you're looking for something to do with it, you can clean your windows. Makes a great medium to take off all that stuff that you got hanging around on the windows.
All right, don't forget, of course, we are being heard and seen around the world on our live video stream. That's available right now at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where the link is located, and one click will get you started. If you're on your way and just on your mobile device and want to watch, you can do so by using your TuneIn app and put Mornings with the Leader Man in the search. If you're on your mobile device just wanting audio, that's even easier. Get an audio streaming application such as TuneIn, iTunes, or Streama, and put WEEB into the search. And if you're on our website, that stream's available in the upper right-hand corner of any of our pages at talk973.com. Top right-hand corner of every page has an icon that says On the Air, Listen Live. Click it once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills. It's going to be sunny today. It's 70. Doesn't get much better than that. Tonight, clear, low of 42. Tomorrow, a carbon copy of today. Friday will be sunny throughout the day and 71. Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Now we got a chance of rain throughout all that period, but there's no washout any one day. Percentages will be in the 20-30 range. And our temperatures will hang around the 72-degree mark. Right now around the Sandhills, winds are northwest at 5, visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure 3009, dew point 44. Humidity 80%. It's sunny and 50 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, in the studio with us this morning for the extended Zoom All Zone, of course, John Zoom On. John, you got a special guest this morning.
Well, we do have a very special guest, Steve, and before I introduce him, I want to tell all of you that he's running for District 52 in the state legislature, and this is one of the most important elections that you'll vote for this year. A lot of you may not realize, well, I think a lot of these listeners do. This is a pretty informed audience, realize how important our state legislature is to us and how important it is for us to have a good representative. So we're very glad to have Chief Bob Timmy here this morning. He's going to be running against Jamie Bowles, who's been in the legislature for 10 or so years. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, JD.
How you doing? You feeling pretty good about this race?
I'm feeling very good. Had I not
felt good, I would have not thrown my name in the hat. So,
well, let me tell the folks out there first that I ran against Jamie a couple of elections ago, and I lost, and that's in the full disclosure, so that you'll understand that while I like Jamie Bowles as a person, I would rather he not be in the legislature because I don't think he's represented us well. But having said that, I want to invite Jamie on again. I've invited him several times because we do want to be fair. But being fair means also telling the truth. Bob, I should call you Chief, I guess. Would you tell us a little bit about your background, and we'll go into why that helps qualify you, but if you could tell us a little bit about what you've done, please.
Sure. I started my law enforcement career in 1983. I was a lieutenant with the City of Stamford Police Department in Connecticut. I retired from the City of Stamford in 2004, and holding a commercial pilot rating, I wound up taking a position as the chairman of the Aeronautical Science Department for the State University of New York. I was there for 4 years. I created a program to blend the aviation department with the criminal justice department to have a transportation security program of study. And what I did was I took those courses and put them into an online curriculum, which allows me to still teach for the State University of New York, but I do that online, which gave me the opportunity to come here to North Carolina. In 2008, I took a position as the manager for the Center for the Prevention of School Violence with the Department of Juvenile Justice. So I had pre-incident planning responsibilities across the entire state. At that time, the Democratic governor decided to close the Center for the Prevention of School Violence, which gave me the opportunity to seek employment elsewhere, and I took a position with the Southern Pines Police Department, becoming the chief in December of 2012.
Well, you know, there's a group of folks who believe that in order to serve in the legislature, you should be a politician. Now, I read the Constitution to read that we are citizens. We are represented by our citizens, and it's great. It's always good to have someone who's got as much experience as you do, and has leadership as well, and is as well-rounded as one can be. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Can you name one or two or three of your top issues, and then we'll talk about them individually?
Sure. Public safety is always a top issue. I think it's a top issue across the country.
Let's talk about that for a minute. As relates to if you were to be in the legislature, talk about what your issues would be and how you would help solve some of them.
Well, some of the reason that I am running is as a member of the North Carolina Chiefs of Police Association. They were seeking some of their membership to seek positions in the legislature because of some of the legislation that was coming out that was not necessarily pro-law enforcement or very complicated because they really didn't have the background in what they were crafting as laws for us to enforce. So with that said, you know, when we talk about my opponent, who is the chairman of the school, not chairman, he's a member of the school safety committee that was announced in February, and they were responsible to seek input from law enforcement to craft legislation. And when they made the appointments to the committee, they said that it was made up of mental health professionals, law enforcement professionals, and educators. And I was trying to figure out which bucket my opponent fell into. I actually happened to fall into two of them. So I can bring that to the table as far as my ability for law enforcement. I'm also a small business owner here in Moore County, so I bring that fiscal responsibility with that too.
Well, you know, I would ask you if you could clarify a little bit about this legislation that police officers it's not necessarily friendly to police officers, because the folks out here listening are not, for the most part, are not police officers, and it might sound to them like you want to make things tougher for them, rather than, as I know what you're talking about, make things more fair, and make it so that we can actually put criminals behind bars and protect the innocent and protect the victims. Or am I reading that wrong?
No, you're not reading that wrong at all. So, you know, for instance, you know, there's a big talk, tremendous support of the Second Amendment. I have a Second Amendment pen that I sign on my campaign paperwork with. But for instance, we had an individual, and a press release will be coming out later today, by the name of Jamal Kegler, who we picked up last night with possession of a stolen firearm, along with some drug charges, and he's back on the street, and the report is not yet to be written. So, if we're looking at gun laws, let's enforce the laws. And actually, I take that back. Let's prosecute the laws that we have on the books and see where we stand, because right now those laws are being enforced. Really, the biggest bang for the buck that we get is taking our cases federal, because we get that much more bigger bite of time. So I don't think we need a lot of new laws. I think what we really need to do is focus on prosecuting the ones that we have and maybe cleaning up the loopholes in the ones that are out there already. Like you had mentioned, raise the age. There's some big loopholes in there that we as law enforcement are going to have challenges in addressing.
Well, let me make sure, again, that I understand you correctly. I know that police, the DA's office, judges are often criticized when a person gets arrested for a certain crime, and they either get right back on the street, or they get a very small bond, or they get a very small sentence. But these things are determined by the state legislature. In other words, no matter how much you think, Chief, it should be a crime, and I might think it should be a crime, you can't do anything. The judge can't hold them unless the legislature has codified that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we need to make sure that they do these things. And you guys, although you get the criticism, the DA's office gets the criticism, the judges get the criticism, it's not always their fault.
No, it's not, and they're operating within the system that they have to operate within, and that's what needs to be tightened up on a public safety standpoint, is to tighten up those loopholes in the existing laws. There's no reason that somebody should be allowed to sit in Moore County Jail for 4 or 5 years pending a trial on a homicide. That just should not happen. So where's the legislation to kind of put some parameters on that and make sure they get the speedy trial that they're entitled to?
So it's good to hear you say that, because we often believe the police are out to get us no matter what. But it's my opinion, and yours, that we protect the innocent, we take care of the victims, and if you're not guilty, you shouldn't be held.
Absolutely.
That's a big part of it. All right. I heard you talk about the tier system. I think that's also one of your big...
It is.
And it's something I've been talking about for a couple of years here, and I think the citizens of Moore County have kind of forgotten about it, but it is a huge factor, and especially in light of how much we talk about the schools. Could you talk about your beliefs on the tier system and how you could affect that, if you could?
Yeah, no, one of those top 3 issues that I put out there are based on what people have told me. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily about what my opinion is. I'm really supposed to represent when I get in that position. So we did some ground research for several months to see what the topics were, and the tier system was right there at the top. And I strongly believe that our taxes are going up, yet our revenues are going elsewhere. And the fact that people stop talking about it is really where the problem is, because there's nobody even trying anymore. And if they are, you get we're looking into, we're in the process of, we're reviewing, we're all that hedging kind of stuff, not what we're going to do or what we're trying to do. So we really need to take a look at that tier system. Several years back, there was $84 million that was sales tax revenue that was allocated to 79 counties, and every county that touches Moore County received part of that money, but Moore County did not receive any of it. And the question is why? And I've been to these Tier 1 counties that are receiving some of the revenue that's generated in Moore County, and to be honest with you, I want a refund, because they're really not doing anything with it based what I've seen. They're not improving. It's not making a difference for those other counties in the lower tiers.
Well, before we talk about the extended sales tax, I would like to say that, or rather to ask you, if there may be some folks listening who have no idea what we're talking about when we say Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, as it affects Moore County. Could you kind of maybe enlighten them just briefly?
Sure. In the state, the 100 counties are divided into, they look at them as wealth. So there's Tier 3, which is Moore County is, and the basic, simplest thought process is that we're a more affluent county, and then it goes down to Tier 2 and then to Tier 1. So some of that tax money that is collected here in Moore County is allocated to go to Tier 1 and by proportion to Tier 2 counties as well. So our money is portion of it is just simply leaving here, and we're not deriving any benefit from it. Yet if you look at the demographics of the town, and we've done the study where, you know, the census population may be 13,000, but our daytime population, when you take everything into account, the schools, the hotels, the restaurants, we're roughly over 40,000 people. So they're coming from these other counties, spending the money here, and then we're sending the money back out. Yet we're providing the services here in Moore County.
So there are people listening to us right now, and we have an audience, a very varied audience, but there are some folks listening who are not sure how they're going to buy their food for the next few days until payday, and for them to pay taxes and for it to be what I call wealth distribution, for it to be sent to other people because the legislature decided the other people need it, just doesn't seem fair. And I imagine that's why most people, or a lot of people, have said to you, this is a big concern.
Well, it became more of a concern, I think, when we were doing our exploratory work, and the fact that taxes have gone up. Property tax has gone up. Taxes for the schools have gone up. That's when they really started saying, well, wait a minute, you know, before they weren't, I think, really feeling the impact of having our money go somewhere else, but really now it's impacting them, and it's impacting businesses. And so, you know, that whole trickle-down economics is real. So it matters here in the county, and I think that's such a big topic. And I think, you know, I will put it out there. I know going to the legislature, being the new kid on the block, I'm not going to move the world when I get up there, but somebody has to at least be asking the questions and trying to advance the ball. If they're not representing what the concerns are of the people in District 52.
Well, you know, that's all I really want to hear, is someone up there representing us, and that's the key word, representing. You made that very clear. You're not up there to be the great wise man who has all the answers, but rather to represent. And, you know, you're going to have a very tough job, as you know. You have 80 other counties who don't want this to change, and you'll be one of 20 who do. So you said it very well. You'll have a tough time.
And I recognize that, and I actually embrace it. So, you know, no for me means try harder. Losing's not an option, and second place is first loser. But with that said, you know, back in 2016, you know, I was reading an interview that my opponent gave, and he said that he didn't represent Moore County. He represented the entire state, the 10 million people of the state. Well, he's the only representative that lives in Moore County. So if he's not representing Moore County, then we don't have a representative. And I think even Nick Percerno had said that several years back as well when he was on the county commission. So, and I strongly believe that. I mean, yeah, imagine going home and telling your wife, honey, you know, I'm your husband, but I'm the husband to all these other people too. You know, that's just not going to cut it.
Well, it's there may be some cutting involved, but it wouldn't. That would. You said something to us when you came in here and when we were chatting that I liked, and I would like you to say it again on the radio. And that was when you became the chief of police, you decided to be the chief and act as though you didn't need the job.
You know, that has been, and you've talked to anybody that works with me, and I don't want to say for me because we all work together. That was my mantra going in, that the only way to do the job is to do it as if you don't need it, and just do what's right. And if that doesn't fit, then I don't fit. So, and that's what I want to carry forward into the legislature, and it's worked very well for me as the chief. So I have to run my campaign as I run the police department. So, you know, when you have a homicide that occurs and you're focusing on that goal at the end, and there's a lot of stuff that comes in from the outside, thrown at you in all different directions, you just stay on that goal and don't get distracted by the flack that's coming in from the side. And I realize that it's going to be a very watched race, but, you know, I want to run a nice, honest, fair campaign and let the people pick. And if the people do not pick me, then that's the fit. And if they pick me, then it's an even better fit.
Well, you know, you often say you're the last Boy Scout.
I do.
And which means you don't really have a lot of skeletons in your closet.
I don't.
And I would like to compliment Jamie. I watched the last two campaigns, one of which I was in, and I thought he was very much a gentleman. I didn't see anything that I thought was untoward. You said that you would resign your job as chief of police if you win.
Correct. I've been in public service since I'm 14 years old. I was a volunteer fireman cadet. So I see this as the capstone of my public service career. So I'll be stepping down from a well-paying chief's position to take a job with the legislature that pays $13,100. So it's about public service for me and just doing what's right. And that's as simple as it gets. I really see that as the capstone of my public service career. But yes, when I do win the primary in March, I will work with the town manager and the town council to make sure there's a smooth transition, so there's no gap in services to a department and a community that I truly care about.
Well, I was going to say, Chief, I'll be glad to take your job when you leave. Now, what I really wanted to say was, your opponent has a lot of seniority in there. I mean, he's the House Whip, I believe they say he is. And people think, well, he's been there a long time, he's got seniority, he can get things done better for us than a greenhorn coming in. What would you say to that?
I would say you need a greenhorn. You need somebody that I don't think outside the box. I just don't own a box. You talk about the greenhorn. My opponent is the head of this member of the school safety committee, yet he's supposed to be seeking input for crafting legislation to increase school safety across the state, yet he has not walked across the street to see the chief of police from the largest municipal police agency in the county that is the cavalry for the schools. We have the special response team, we have the crisis negotiation team, we have the dogs. I am the former manager of the Center for the Prevention of School Violence. Who better to seek input from as you're crafting legislation to make schools safer? So, yes, I am going to be the green guy up there, but I think that's a good thing. I think that breaking the old network is what we need to do.
Helps flush out the bad habits. I know that.
Going back to the tier system, which I happen to think, and well, personally for me, that is the biggest issue. For other people, it may not be. But we have the extended sales tax here, and they kind of snuck it in on us a few years ago. I mean, they literally snuck it in on us. And there's no sunset clause. It's not going to ever end. And for those who may not know what I'm talking about, if you get for example, air conditioner repaired, used to you paid the taxes on the parts. Now you pay a tax on labor.
Correct.
And that money, every dime of it that's collected, goes to other counties.
Correct.
And that's Wayne Vest, the county manager, told me that was about $1 million a year at the time I asked him. That's a lot of money.
I'm sure it's more than that, because under this Trump economy, that it's grown so much that there's a lot more commerce taking place in those areas. So I don't know when you had that conversation with Wayne Vest, but I'm sure from a business standpoint, looking at it with my MBA background, that's actually number has grown tremendously.
And that's a lot of money, folks. That is a lot of money. That'll build a lot of it'll buy a lot of supplies and classroom and pay salaries and on and on.
Sure. I mean, you look in Aberdeen, I think 4 cents they just raised their taxes, right? So you have to ask your question, if that money stayed here, would my taxes have risen, or B, maybe they would not have risen as much, right? Because your taxes generally don't go down.
Yep. Well, we give the schools, particularly Grimacy and Barath, a lot of grief on here because they blow money. I'm not speaking for Chief Timmy. I'm speaking for us at the radio station. But they wouldn't have to be in such dire straits if they could get that money from the state that belongs to us, that left. Let me quit hammering on this. What was one of you had, I remember reading 3 of your issues. What was another one?
The one is to have the conversation about the gas prices.
Oh, yeah.
So, and again, these aren't my issues. We were on the ground in early June, asking the questions, trying to find out from the community what the issues were. And that is the 3rd issue that was on the top as we lay out the spreadsheet, right? So that was right on the top. And the simple question was, why do we pay more for gas than surrounding counties? Now, you have the whole supply and demand and competition and everything that goes with that. And if there is a legitimate reason, let's find out and put it out there and put it to rest. But people are not comfortable in the fact that they don't have a definitive answer, and there's a lot of speculation about it. So, and again, if it comes out that supply and demand and the market says that these were what the prices should be, then we can move on to another issue. But it is a big topic of conversation around the county.
Well, and I've got to give a little background on this. Our county commissioners wrote a letter first to Representative Bowles and asked him to look into this, and they never heard anything back from him. Then they wrote to our Attorney General for the state, never heard anything back. And I agree, if there's a legitimate reason the gas prices are high, then fine. But we don't know that. And you know what, Chief, honestly, for the people out here listening, when we drive a few miles to the next county, either way, and gas is 12, 14, 16 cents cheaper, we've got to wonder. And we're going to invite, we all know the names, some of the power brokers here in this county, on the radio, and ask them. Maybe they can explain this. But it's going to be pretty tough to explain to the average person like myself and some of the folks listening. That's going to be a tough one.
Well, you remember, if you're driving to Lee County, you're driving to Cumberland County to get your gas because you're going in that direction, any your sales tax money is being collected outside of the county. So with the gas prices up, we're actually losing money in sales tax revenue. So, that impacts the county as well.
I want to change the subject, but first I want to ask you to anything else you want to talk about. I want to go back to the chief of police role, but first, is there anything else, and you can take the whole time if you want to, that you want to talk about that you would like to do if you're elected to the legislature?
Well, I think the one thing you touched on about reaching out, I'm probably the most approachable, reachable public figure in the county, and I have been since 2012. One of the other things that we found when we were doing our exploratory work was that they were not even given the courtesy of a return phone call from some of our representatives, right? And I want to be respectful of Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment, right? Thou shalt not criticize another Republican. So
he was talking about true Republicans, true conservative Republicans.
Okay. But with that said, I'll put the challenge out there that if there's anybody since I've been the chief of police since 2012 that I have not gotten back to, I'd like to hear from you, because that person does not exist. So
well, that raises another point. I made the mistake of texting you on your work phone and asking you about the interview, et cetera, and you texted me back immediately, this is my official phone for work. We don't use this one at all for campaign. So I was pretty impressed by that. Do you have a number or a website or a Facebook or anything else you'd like to put out and where people can contact you?
Thank you, and thank you for that. Yeah, it is the committee to elect. Bob Temme is the committee, so if you wish, it's going to be a very expensive battle to get in position to represent you. So we certainly would look for contributions there. You can find us on Facebook at Vote Bob Chief Temme on Facebook. So you can follow us there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Vote Chief Temme. So once you get to those two social media sites, and we have a very big footprint with the police department in social media, but we will also have a very big footprint with our campaign. So if you go there and follow us, you'll be able to get all the information as we progress and move forward. We've had a lot of success on our social media site, and we've got a lot of chatter going on, and I feel really good about where we are right now in the campaign.
Well, I just got a text just now, Chief. A lady asked me if I would ask you if she could sit down and speak with you about some issues. I reckon I know the answer.
Yeah, no, I've never not in my role as chief of police, and thank you for pointing out the fact that I do separate the two roles. It's very important for me that I do that. I've even taken some vacation time to sit here with you today, so that's very important that I do. And but yeah, there's nobody that I have not gotten back to. I can't always give you what you want, but we can always have the conversation, and more often than not, we can kind of find some resolution, or at least have the conversation.
I've always thought there's nothing more ridiculous than someone to run for office and speak. We're separating Jamie Bowles from Representative Bowles. Speak well of the job he's doing and say, hey, he's done a great job. Then why would you be running? So I would like to ask you, has he done a good job?
I don't believe he has. I've been on the ground in my role as chief, and I don't see that representation of the county. I don't see the involvement. I don't see him in the community as I am in the community in my role as chief of police. So I don't think the county's being represented, and it's obvious based on the work that we've done that others feel the same way, which is why I was confident putting my name in the hat, going up against the 10-year politician who's had a committee for roughly 11 years and collected money the whole time. I've been in, was in the race a little bit earlier than I expected, but I've been on the ground for 2 weeks, so I'm trying to build up a little bit of that war chest to take on what I know is coming. But my name recognition has been out there since 2012, and I'm very proud of what we've done with the police department, and I'd like to be able to do something equally as great for the county.
And folks, when you look on the ballot, you spell, the name is pronounced
Temi, and
Temi.
Actually, you know, the affidavit that you file for your nickname, I'm going to be chief long after I'm chief, just like I was Bob long before I was chief. So on the ballot is going to appear Bob Chief Temi.
And you spell that?
T-E-M-M-E.
So be sure you're looking for not T-I-M-M-Y or anything. It's Timmy.
It's interesting that Toomey ran against Jamie Bowles in 2008. Now he has Temi running against him in 2020.
If you by some chance will not win, I guess Tammy will run against him next time.
Yeah.
But we've only got a couple of minutes left. Anything you'd like to say?
No, I really welcome the opportunity. You know, out of the groundswell with the conversations, the same thing that kept coming up is people kept saying it's time for Temi. We didn't have a campaign slogan. We really weren't looking at that stage just yet, but that was organic as it came about. So because it came from the community, it's something that we chose to use. So
good.
I will tell you at this time that that I, and along with many others out there, both inside the party and outside the party, believe it's time for Temi.
Well, let me remind the listeners and Representative Bowles, Jamie Bowles, we're friends. You're more than welcome to come on here, Jamie. We've invited you time after time, and we'd like you to be able to hear your side of things. And Chief, thank you for coming, and I hope you'll come back a couple of times before all this is over with.
I hope we can come back in a debate format.
Yeah. Listen, let's just issue that invitation now. Yourself and Jamie would love for you to come debate. And Jamie, you know that I've been an adversary, but I'll be very fair. When you were at the town hall meeting, you'll recall I moderated that, and I was very fair to you. So we'd love to have you come on here. How are things going with the Southern Pines Police Department, Chief?
Outstanding. I'll be pushing a press release a little later this afternoon to highlight some of the things of our long-term strategic plan that are actually working and making things better in the town. So look forward to doing that.
Okay. Well, thank you once again. We appreciate it and hope to see you in here again pretty soon.
Thank you.
By the way, Chief, how are you enjoying those campaign finance forms?
Oh, geez.
They're fun, aren't they?
A four-way split with in-kind donation from yesterday, so yes.
Yeah.
It's but again, with that MBA background, that's really just a walk in the park.
Well, we appreciate you coming in here and starting your campaign off with us, so good luck to you, and like John said, we'll have you back.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, so it goes. Cut the wrong line off. So it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow for a titillating, no, it's Thumping Thursday. No, it's titillating Tuesday, Thumping Thursday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. When you give them first crack at your spending dollars, about 68% of it stays here and rolls over and creates jobs for more people right here in our own community. And don't forget, millions of Americans, they have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. So live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams, and the Leader Man and Nick and Colt the Dog will all see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Sunny Dog Park.